Foster is one of the most valuable officials the NBA has. And the reason he is because he will make any call, anywhere, against anybody, at any time. His ego is probably what enables him to be such a good official.
He just said a bunch of
But
bullshit.
we have seen.
Y'all, we come with Scott Foster, the NBA's most infamous referee. Listen, this nigga be cheating all the damn time. Listen, like, he's a known cheater. Then he get fired if I'm not mistaken. But anyways, we gon' if he didn't, we finna figure out in this video. If he did, we finna figure out in this video. Welcome new people, new subscribers. Get to the video.
2016 to 2023, Scott Foster was voted as the worst referee in the NBA by NBA players.
Damn.
With that said, the NBA still seems to see him as one of their best.
Really?
But why?
They
In
don't cheat. Oh, that's
2007,
somebody else.
Foster was exposed as the ref who received 134 phone calls from disgraced referee Tim Donaghy between October 2006 and April
Damn,
2007.
he's that old.
And despite these claims, he received no punishment at all. And as his career in the NBA progressed, he slowly began gaining more attention for questionable on-court decisions, especially with his absurd referee-player rivalry with Chris Paul. Today, in 20 playoff games that CP3 has played with Foster officiating, Paul has gone 3-17. But it's not just CP. Players like James Harden and Paul Pierce have publicly criticized the attitude of Foster, with Harden even claiming he shouldn't be a ref at all, not to mention officiating some of the most important games in the postseason.
That's true.
But how? How can this happen? How can one of the worst NBA referees still be such a valued official in the NBA? These are just some of the many questions we'll be covering as we look back at the career of the extender. Welcome to
I wonder how much
Sportsfeed.
money referees
Let's
make.
get into it.
How much y'all think referees make? I feel like every time I see anybody in the NBA, they gotta make like $1 million. But like actually, like realistically, like if I just had to like guess, for me to like, am I a traveling referee or am I just like a referee for like, say like I'm the referee for like LA? Am I traveling or am I just like the referee for LA? So I'm assuming I'm just the referee for. I guess I'm just a referee for LA. So I'll say about 100. Yeah, I'll say about 6 figures. Like, nothing crazy. My bad, y'all. My bad. 6 figures is crazy. I be realizing the shit I be saying. 6 figures is crazy.
They're having a lengthy conversation right now.
Don't use the tech to get your point across. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing with it. I'm sure I see him in a game 7 soon. That's how it always works out with him.
Scott Foster was born in April 1967 in Silver Spring, Maryland. Foster was a referee for 6 years of high school basketball,
Really?
before reffing for 2 years in the CBA in college basketball, before entering the NBA in
You got a long history.
1994.
Okay.
Foster largely stayed under the radar early on in his career, and only seemed to start gaining attention when fellow referee Tim Donaghy was under investigation for some serious suspicions. In 2007, Tim Donaghy was investigated for suspicion of match fixing, and even later admitted to gambling on games where even he was a ref.
What?
And how Foster relates to this
Sheena.
is because Foster was the official who received 134 phone calls from Donaghy between October 2006 and April 2007, which Donaghy later reluctantly admitted to. Foster is heavily linked to this incident, especially when considering Donaghy didn't call any other official more than 13 times, while calling Foster a total of 134 times.
But why?
Not to mention, Donaghy's calls to Foster took place immediately before and after games Donaghy was officiating, 54 times.
Nigga, if that ain't a... But, come on, bro. Use your common sense. Don't that mean they're cheating? Like, literally, oh, hey, bro, I need you to, go ahead, fuck over this game. I got the Warriors winning, so make sure you do whatever you can, buddy. I got them winning by at least 4. Like, bro, what?
However, Foster was not convicted of anything. After the two claimed they simply had a close relationship. As for Donaghy, although most people see the call logs as overwhelming evidence of his involvement with illegal gambling, he only received 2 charges of conspiracy before serving 11 months in prison.
Wait, you can serve...
As to the
You can
potential
serve time in jail for that? Deadass?
involvement of referees
I
other
didn't know
than
that.
Donaghy,
What?
I think Gilbert Arenas may have said it the best.
The biggest mistake the feds made
Mm-hmm.
was letting David Stern know there might be other refs that we're looking into. David Stern said, oh, you're not going to ruin us. Gangster, leak it out. Donahue is cooperating. He's going to help us. And you're like, oh, okay. Hey, feds caught Donahue. What'd that make you do? Oh, no. Oh, deny.
Foster seemed to walk away scot-free and slid under the radar, without even receiving any punishment or public criticism by the NBA.
They had no proof.
On top of that, at this point, Foster began seeing even more officiating opportunities, even in more high-stake games.
What the hell?
But while Foster continued to develop into a beloved referee by the NBA, it seemed that he began making some enemies. Most notably, star point guard Chris Paul found a disdain in him early in his career. You may have even seen the recent 2023 altercation between Scott Foster and Chris Paul, but you might not know that this rivalry dates almost 2 decades back. CP3 entered the NBA in 2005, and in one of the first games that the New Orleans Hornets with rookie CP were blown out, guess who was a referee? Yes, Scott Foster.
Wow.
And since that regular season game in 2005, Chris Paul has bumped heads with Scott Foster time and time again on the court. Not saying that their bad-blooded feud began in Paul's rookie season, but this is very possible, considering Chris Paul's antagonistic tendencies, also with Foster's infamous attitude. But what soon followed this blowout defeat seemed to be the turning event in this strange player and referee dynamic.
Bruh, I ain't gonna lie. If I'm Scott Foster, bruh, I want to retire to this nigga Chris Paul retire, nigga. That's some real hatred. Like to hate a nigga. Oh, to hate a nigga his whole career, and to dictate how his career goes, and like he can't win a championship because I'm like refereeing him, so I make sure. Oh yeah, give Steph Curry three fouls in the first couple quarters. Nigga, do you know how much effect that can have on? Oh my god, that nigga's a hater. Oh my god, he hates that.
It began with Chris Paul finally gaining recognition as a top point guard in the league in his 3rd season, which saw CP3 make his first playoff push for the Hornets. After making it past the first round, the Hornets were up against the reigning NBA champions, the Spurs. And after a back-and-forth series, a Game 7 would come. And guess who was assigned as a referee? Yes, Scott Foster. Yeah. Without any overwhelmingly obvious bad calls, the Hornets lost in the end, 91-82. As time went on, Chris Paul made a move to the Clippers and didn't have much postseason success. But when Chris Paul moved to the Houston Rockets to accompany James Harden, this may have been the peak of the player-ref rivalry, and the feud would finally go public.
I ain't gonna lie, did I pay this?
After a regular season game in 2018, Paul had choice words to say about Scott Foster.
Talk to me.
I got a text tonight. Yeah, Scott Foster at his finest. You know what I mean? Yeah. Never fails.
But it wasn't until the playoffs when this seemingly bad-blooded feud was taken to the next level. In 2018, Harden led the Houston Rockets with CP, making it all.
Bruh, I'm sorry, bruh. James Harden should have won a championship at least once. Like, this nigga was fucking different. Do y'all remember this? Like, bruh, please tell me y'all remember who this nigga was back in the day. This nigga was like that. He just fucking, I don't know, he just folded every time he got into the playoffs, bro.
the way to the Western Conference Finals.
Sick.
And as they would go up against the Warriors, in Game 7, you guessed it, Scott Foster was assigned to officiate the game again. And this is how it turned out.
They ain't called it? They ain't called it? Oh yeah, that's crazy. No.
Tell me if there's any contact here.
Ain't no fucking way you ain't call that.
Yes.
Ain't no way you ain't call that. Ain't no way you ain't call that.
They are in their grill.
Okay, that one, I ain't gonna lie.
They should have gotten.
I ain't gonna lie.
Plays where James Harden, in my opinion,
Hold on.
was fouled.
It began with 2 significant calls that were missed early on, as the Rockets still had a significant advantage they were looking to build on, with 6 potential free throws right there. And the bad calls kept coming. And it just seemed like the officials wanted the Warriors to win that night, no matter how absurd the call or non-call. After countless obvious calls missed, the Warriors would win
They won?
in Game 7, and despite many fans and analysts calling for Foster to be investigated, his position as a top ref in the NBA remained untouched. Many
What?
fans believed that the Houston Rockets were well and truly robbed in this game.
Yeah, ain't gonna
Although
lie.
it seemed like
Off
just a
those
Chris
couple
Paul and
clips,
Foster
yeah.
rivalry, did these questionable decisions
They
go
call
beyond
that?
just the hatred for Chris Paul? Or was there a deeper motive by not just Foster,
Nah,
but
what?
potentially even the NBA? It's also important to note that in the 25 playoff games that this Houston team played in 2 seasons, Scott Foster ended up reffing 6 of those 25 games.
What?
And in the end, Houston went 0-6. And considering Foster was assigned on quite a few Game 7s, fans were slowly starting to catch on to this.
You know what I'm noticing, bro? That nigga go request for like Chris Paul. Like that nigga's probably requesting the can I watch that game, please, bro? Please, can I? Oh, that nigga's nasty.
Strange
nasty.
officiating patterns. In the bubble season, now with Chris Paul in the playoffs with the OKC
No way, he went to
Thunder,
OKC.
in a first round matchup against the Rockets,
No way.
the series led to a Game 7. And as you may expect, Foster was again assigned to officiate the game.
He's a hater. Hey, bro, you can't be mad at this. This is y'all. We are watching a hater at his finest, y'all. Listen, I gotta show y'all his face. Listen, you gotta look at his face. He's the ultra hater. Like this nigga hates this nigga. He wants Chris Paul. He wants to be there every time he plays. That's crazy. I ain't gonna lie. That's nasty. That's hateful. That's hateful. Chris Paul. Now I'm starting to realize it's not your fault that you haven't won a ring. It's this nigga. It's not even. It don't even matter the team that you go against. As long as he's as long as he referee, you're not gonna win. You're cooked.
During pregame,
What?
it was later revealed that Scott Foster had reminded Chris Paul that he officiated his first Game 7, referencing to how Foster was the one who officiated Game 7 between the Hornets and the Spurs in 2011.
What?
A strange thing to say to a player, that's for sure. Anyways, this Game 7 would go down to the wire,
That nigga's
and
a
with just
hater.
over 1 second of the game remaining, Foster made another one of his controversial calls, this time calling for a foul, when a timeout was clearly called prior, and Chris Paul's team got the rough end of the stick once again.
We could have won the game, but that situation, league no. Like,
In the following season, CP3 was moved to the Phoenix Suns, and the postseason saw them exceed expectations of many, especially considering it was Paul's first year in Phoenix. Matter of fact, the Suns made it all the way to Game 6 of the 2021
That nigga told Chris Paul, don't get too happy now, nigga. Don't get too happy, nigga. I'm still here. Don't get too happy, nigga.
NBA Finals against the Bucks.
No way. What
And with
happened?
the Suns trailing 3-2 in the series, Scott Foster was assigned to officiate the must-win game for the Suns.
Why?
And as we know, Milwaukee would win Game 6 before taking home the championship. Although Milwaukee probably deserved the victory, having an NBA player's arch nemesis ref, who's also been voted as the worst ref, to be assigned on one of the most important games of the entire season,
Why?
this seems like a calculated move from above, and
Literally.
a questionable decision to say the least.
Wait, why?
Now, looking at the present day, Scott Foster has officiated a total of 20 games that Chris Paul has played in the playoffs. And in those 20 games, CP3 has only won 3 of them, despite
Damn.
Paul's team being favourites in 15 of those
My
games.
God.
And on the contrary,
My
in
God.
games where Foster
What?
is not the referee, Chris Paul has a record of 73 wins to 56 losses.
Chris
That brings
Paul,
the playoff total
don't
record
come to the
of
Lakers,
Paul
my nigga.
to 76 wins
Do
and
not
73 losses with
I thought
Foster.
we needed you.
A stark contrast.
He good.
Although some may claim this is just a coincidence, these numbers are simply too alarming to look past.
Facts.
And this is what Stephen A had to say about it.
You're not favored in 15 of 20 games and you're going 3-17, and it has nothing to do with the officiating. That's not an accident. That's too big, too glaring of a coincidence to ignore.
Right.
After another recent encounter, resulting in a quick double technical from Scott Foster to Chris Paul, in the postgame, Paul again acknowledges the personal nature of his relationship with Foster. Chris Paul also claimed that during the game, Foster talked about his son, before confirming this in the
Niggas dying. That nigga, bruh. Who pushed me? Was that Steph Curry? I swear to God, Steph, get the fuck off me. Get the fuck off me, nigga. Don't touch me. Bruh. I'm sending that nigga to God and then paying the fine later, nigga. Fuck, I do not care. Talk about my son, bro. You can talk about anybody. Nah, I can't say anybody. My mom wife, kids, you're cooked. I'm cooking you, but you're going to see God. Anybody else, you're cool, you're good. Like you, ha, nigga, I don't give a damn. But them, you're bro. Are you dead ass? You gonna talk? What you said about the nigga's son?
The post game.
Yeah, we had a situation some years ago, and it's personal. The league know, everybody know, it's been a meeting and all that, and it's just a situation with my son, and so it's...
And Paul even mentioned that he had a mediated conversation with Foster before. However, the issues between the two certainly still persist. Well, it's not just Chris Paul either. Even Harden claimed Foster shouldn't be allowed to officiate Rockets games anymore, and characterized Foster as rude and arrogant, saying he couldn't even have a conversation with him during the game. Paul Pierce also spoke out against Foster's unfriendly demeanor, quickness to call technicals, and overall arrogance, with many others calling it out on court with Foster as a referee. But this makes sense, because since 2016, for 7 straight seasons, Scott Foster was voted as the worst ref in the league by players.
Why haven't they fired him yet?
Considering this background, the persistent question emerges: how is Scott Foster still allowed to officiate in the NBA?
Exactly.
Although most people see the biased, seemingly corrupt nature of Foster's decision-making, a bigger question arises. Is Scott Foster just a puppet? And is he acting on behalf of the NBA to potentially extend playoff series?
Boy, you on to something. Boy, I didn't even think about it like that. Oh my God. Maybe. But I'll say yes and no. Cause he dead ass has something against Chris Paul. Like, we know that for a fact. Cause to say, bro, do you know how I officiated Game 7, 2007 game of your final? What was it? No, Chris Paul. I don't think Chris Paul ever made it to the final. Maybe playoff game. But nigga, do you know how crazy that is to remember some shit? That nigga when Scott Foster go home, he got a whiteboard. But every time he took this nigga Chris Paul down. He got it every time he fucked that nigga over. My God, it's been 20 years. Nigga, I've been cooking this nigga for 20 years. I know he tells his grandkids about this shit. Because this nigga, bro, he don't even talk to no women before he fuck over Chris Paul. He makes sure that's the first thing he do. Wake up in the morning. How can I fuck Chris Paul today? Wait, whoa. I mean, fuck over. See, let me shut up.
Now, as a referee that has made countless emotional decisions,
letting
this personal bias is getting in the way of officiating.
Shut up.
I think that the NBA would have punished him in some kind of way.
Don't say nothing.
But no,
I hear
the
nothing.
NBA has done precisely nothing to crack down on Foster's antics.
That's actually wild.
As a matter of fact, they may just be capitalizing on his officiating and may even be the puppet masters behind the scenes.
Maybe, ain't gonna lie.
Let me explain. Other than the long-time Chris Paul beef, Scott Foster, the extender, has famously been known to be assigned in crucial games to extend the series, and is often seemingly in favor of the team that generates more money for the NBA.
Wow.
But is this actually true? Over the years, Scott Foster has been assigned to numerous Game 7s in not only games of Chris Paul, but many other important games. More recently, in the 2023 playoffs, Foster officiated Game 7 of the playoff series between the Kings and the Warriors, which was a first-round series that went to 7 games. I'm sure the Warriors' first-round exit would have been terrible for the NBA's pockets. In the same playoffs, voted as the NBA's worst ref, Scott Foster, and second worst ref, Tony Brothers, were assigned on Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals between Boston and Miami. Miami dominated the game in a blowout win, but the question remains, in such an important game, why are the 2 worst referees officiating?
I'm gonna say why.
Another notable game includes Game 6 of the 2016 NBA Finals between the Warriors and Cavs.
Wait a minute, he was a ref for that game?
When the Cavs were down 3-2, Foster was assigned on the game, and he was not shy in giving Steph Curry multiple soft fouls before he fouled out.
Hold on. Look at him.
And he was not shy in giving Steph Curry multiple soft fouls
That nigga's a foul,
before he
bro.
fouled out of the game completely.
Love on the follow, and he's fouled. That would be number 4 on Curry.
Damn.
Stolen by Curry, but a reach and foul. That's 5 on Curry.
Wow.
And a foul on Curry, and Curry's going to get it with a technical. He throws his mouthpiece after fouling out of the game.
Oh, that's the famous throwing the mouthpiece. That's where this shit come from. It's from Scott Foster. Oh yeah, get this nigga gone. That's 70 samples. But he has a long history of fucking people up. But listen, I want to thank Scott Foster because I needed this nigga to get fucked over. I ain't gonna lie, I needed this.
First time he's fouled out since December 2013.
I
This extended the extremely close Game 6 to a Game 7.
Thank you.
Where the Cavs ultimately won. Strange, right? Fans and media even began catching on to this trend. In the prior 2022 postseason, Foster was assigned to ref the Eastern Conference Semifinals Game 6, when Milwaukee Bucks held a 3-2 lead over the Boston Celtics. And many people, including Bill Simmons, believe this was a guaranteed victory for Boston based on Foster's presence. However, right before the game, seemingly after public Twitter grew suspicions of the extender being used too obviously, the NBA decided to take Foster off the match. Regardless, the Celtics still won Game 6, then proceeded to win Game 7 to reach the NBA Finals. The scarier thing is that these are just some of countless examples that Foster has been assigned to very important Game 6 or 7s in the postseason. That said, the media tends to keep this topic under wraps, speaking only highly of their beloved referee. Just listen to how Brian Windhurst speaks on Scott Foster.
So Scott
It's Brian, bro. Do you really? Come on, bro. It's Brian.
Foster is one of the most valuable officials the NBA has. And the reason he is because he will make any call, anywhere, against anybody, at any time. His ego is probably what enables him to be such a good
He just said a
official.
bunch of
But we have seen this repeatedly throughout his illustrious officiating
just
career.
lied.
As well as this commentator
He just
during the
lied.
pregame.
An interesting long discussion, Scott Foster and Chris Paul. Foster, one of the top-rated and most respected officials for years in his 22nd finals game, but he is not Chris Paul's favorite official.
These statements praising Foster are not only far from true, but exposes the extent of the cover-up.
Facts.
Regardless, the motives of the NBA seem clear. In an attempt to generate the most money, especially come playoff time,
What was
they
that
bring
ref
in the
that got caught for
extender
cheating
among
though?
potentially other puppets to do so, putting the
But they was putting
integrity of
bets
the
on
game out the
game.
window. But the truth is, this has probably been going on for a very long time. And it's not just Scott Foster acting on his own. It shines a light on the entire operation of the NBA as a business. With all things considered, although the majority of NBA games seem to be legitimately officiated, it still seems there is a stage aspect to the officiating system itself, in an attempt to alter outcomes to further specific storylines or monetary agendas. Regardless, the NBA...
Wait a minute. Bro, what's Shorty's name? Caitlin Clark. She used to play soccer? What the hell? Anyway, bro. Hey, if y'all enjoyed the video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. I love y'all boys. Make sure you stay safe and out of trouble. See y'all next video. We out. Bye.